Hi everybody, Lori here for Simon Says Stamp. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've got a fun project to share with you using the new June card kit called Capture Joy. Before I get to my project, I'm going to walk you through the contents of this new June card kit. First up is the CZ Modern Scrapbook. It's a 6x8 clear stamp set, and there is also the Modern Scrapbook coordinating dies. They cut out these cute Polaroid size images. There's lots of sentiments. There's florals, some little washi tape. I love this. Such a great, I didn't know how much I was going to love it until I started playing with it. Okay, next up in the kit is the Simon Says Stamp Dot Spiral embossing folder. And this has a gorgeous kind of hypnotic spiral dotted texture to it. And that's called the Dot Spiral. Okay, next included in the Capture Joy kit is the Joyful Moments Embellishment Mix. And these are sequins, and they're kind of pastel-y colors, various sizes, iridescent. Next is the Simple Stories Vintage Flower Shop 6x8 paper pad. So I'm kind of flipping through this to show you the different patterns. They're double-sided, so you get a mixture of wood grain, plaids, butterflies, florals, and some of these are even like little tags. You could trim them out, add them to a gift. Next up is the Simple Stories Vintage Flower Shop Rub-Ons. These are very cool. You can rub them on, and you can pick and choose. There's a little popsicle stick there that helps you to rub on these images. Maybe you just want to rub on the flower or a heart or maybe one of the sentiments. You can pick and choose, or you could do them all. Then there's one sheet of A2 size acetate. So it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. Perfect for making a Polaroid shaker. Also, you're going to need some foam adhesive strips. You're going to get 1/4 of a sheet of Simon Says Stamp white adhesive foam strips. Perfect for shakers. For cardstock, we have a sheet of white glossy, 110 pound, and then a sheet of Audrey Blue, 100 pound, and then a Nina Solar White, 110 pound cardstock, great for a card base. There's also an A2 Audrey Blue envelope, so it kind of coordinates with the whole color scheme. So now I'm going to get to a project that I created. I did not know I was going to have so much fun with these Polaroid images. If you like to customize, I'm not really a scrapbooker type of gal, never really got into scrapbooking. But now that you bring this type of scrapbook feel into card making, I'm here for it. You can customize a card for any occasion. Add a photo, and I'm choosing to make a card for my youngest daughter, Emma. This can be for any time of the year, but I think I'm going to save it for a birthday. She's got a birthday coming up in July, and I was going to do 2 Polaroids. So I'm using the larger Polaroid, and then it also cuts out the inner, but I couldn't quite see exactly where to line up that die for the inner of the Polaroid, so I used the small die to cut out just on scrap white cardstock. Then I lay it on top of my Polaroid, and I make sure that it's centered, so I get that nice and centered. And then I take the small square die and I just kind of line that up with that little die cut square. It snaps into place. That way I know when I run this through my die cutting machine, I'm going to get that square cut out, but it's going to be perfectly centered and you have that even white spacing. That was the only way I could really ensure that I got that. Now I printed a little photo. This is Emma the day we got Hank. So he was about 2 months old, and you can see the expression on her face. It was the best day ever. I'm serious. I don't know who loved it more, me or Emma. Our whole family, we have absolutely fallen head over heels in love with Hank. But the day we got him, I believe it was Emma's 11th birthday, the day we got Hank, and he was 2 months old. And then this photo here on the right, I printed one and already stamped and die cut the Polaroid. This was a recent picture, Emma at a cross-country meet, and Hank, he just turned 4 years old. Emma's about to turn 15. Can you believe it? Time flies, both with Emma and with Hank. So I'm going to put these 2 Polaroids on a card, and I think I'm going to give it to her in July for her birthday. So I'm using some Barely Art glue just to glue these Polaroid die cuts onto the photos, and then I hold it down with an acrylic block so it dries flat and secure. Now I'm gluing the second one. I think this is such a fantastic way to customize a card. If you have a photo of someone you want to, like a niece, a nephew, an aunt, family members, a new baby, whatever, you can make a little Polaroid of it, and it's such a special, customized, something that somebody's going to put on their dresser. This is not a project this is something you save. This is a saver, it's a keeper. So I'm using some little sentiments that were also in that modern scrapbook stamp set. Here we have the best. Just a nice small little sentiment. I stamped that on that one. Now for the second one, I'm going to put another little mini. There's so many little mini phrases to choose from. You can't go wrong. All of them are fantastic. By the way, I'm just using black ink. I think it's VersaFine Onyx black ink is what I'm using. So what does this one here say? Happy days. And these are the happiest days with Hank. So there you have the best and happy days. And then I'm going to go ahead while I got the stamp set out and emboss a larger sentiment. And I'm using a little piece of that Audrey blue cardstock. I prepped it with the Simon Says Stamp powder tool, inking up the sentiment with Versamark ink. And then I'm going to pour on Simon Says Stamp white embossing powder, get that nice and covered, and then I'll heat this with the heat gun. So this sentiment says, all of my happiest memories include you. And I think that just is so fitting. I think that's how we feel about Hank. I know that's how Emma feels about Hank. And so this card could really go for any occasion. I know she's got track coming up here. In fact, tomorrow she's doing it's called True Team State. I don't really understand. This Minnesota has different things with track than Illinois did. But so it could be for an occasion, like if she does really good at her track meet, I could give her that with a Starbucks gift card, and that would make her world. She is all about getting these dragon fruit refresher drinks. Oh my goodness, these teenage girls, they love their beverages. I mean, okay, so I thought, what better way to add cheer? Whenever I want to add cheer and add happiness and add rainbow colors, I strip it up. It's my go-to. So I trimmed some strips of solid color cardstock. It's a mixture of Simon Says Stamp, solid color cardstock, maybe a little bit of Concord 9th mixed in there. I just pulled out of my scrap drawer and adhered little strips. I didn't measure. I like it personally when the strips are various widths. I like the variation. To me, it's more interesting. So I'm using my guillotine trimmer to cut off the excess strips hanging off the sides. And by the way, did I forget to mention this panel that I adhered the strips on is a fog panel. So it's a very, very light gray. I used some 3D foam squares by Simon Says Stamp to adhere these Polaroids. I have a drawer full of foam adhesive, and I have the different thicknesses. Simon Says Stamp has 2 different thicknesses, and I use thin one for the Polaroid on the left and a thicker one for the Polaroid on the right because it kind of sticks up over it. Now I'm creating a card base with that Nina Solar White 110 pound. That was included in the card kit. Scored that with the Simon Says Stamp scoreboard and my Teflon bone folder. Now I'm popping up this fog stripped up Polaroid panel with some Big Mama foam tape. One more 3D foam square for the back of this embossed sentiment. I'm going to just kind of nestle it down in there. There's not a lot of room here, but I wanted to include this special sentiment. All of my happiest memories include you. I think Emma's going to flip when she sees this. Such a great June card kit for personalizing those projects. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.
Hi there, I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at simonsaysstamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.